Hello, DV here, your humble GM and adventurer. We are back with another episode of Ironsworn with Dog of Velmark. Last episode, we were on a journey to the hinterlands, where we will find the Trial of the Light that goes up into the mountains in the hinterlands, and we will do a delve to do the Trial of the Light, but we are still on the very tail end of our journey to the hinterlands, and we come across a cave with a dark mystic, a mystic in there who is doing some sort of ritual that sounds similar to the one Kova was doing. And so he is currently chanting this dark chant, and we are going to try to sneak up behind him and see what we can do to stop him. So we are going to sneak by rolling shadow. We're going to secure an advantage, and we're going to use shadow here. And if we use our long arm, we can use it to stun him. Yes, to secure an advantage, edge using your staff to disarm, trip, shove, or stun your foe. Oh, maybe I'll use edge then instead of sneaking with shadow. That'll help. So we'll use edge, and we will sneak up, and we got that beautiful +5 from our edge because of our alchemy potion. So we're going to sneak up, and we're going to try to give him the old smackaroony with our long arm, our quarterstaff, and try to stop him from doing this ritual. So we are going to roll. Ooh. Even with the +5, we got a 7 overall, which is a weak hit against a 2 and a 9. The advantage is short-lived. Take +1 momentum. Okay, so we do get +1 momentum for that. So we start sneaking up behind this guy with our staff, and we're going to get ready to strike him. But right as we get close to him, he says, in a relatively friendly manner, he stops his chanting, and he says, well, hello there. Hello? You must stop doing this dark ritual, or I will be forced to stop you. And he stands up, and let's see what kind of mystic is this guy here. Let's take a look. I did pick up some additional expanded oracles from Drive-Thru RPG. It's pretty cool. It's the same types of tables that you see in your normal Ironsworn rulebook, but it's just some additional options. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll a d6 first, and then see which table we're on, and then we're going to find the element that we need from that. So I'm going to do a manual roll here, and I'm going to roll my d6 first, which is a 5, and then 32. 32. So 5 down here, and then 32. He seems confused. Okay, that makes sense. He's confused about why we are attacking him. Makes perfect sense. And let's find out what his goal is. We'll go to the number 5 and 32 on this as well. He wants to liberate those in bondage. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So let me give that some thought. And what is his name? What is his descriptor? We'll do the same, 532 for his descriptor. He is carefree. Okay. He's carefree. And what is this guy's name? Oh, we can see what his activity is. Well, we already know he's performing a ritual, so. And names. Okay, let's do a 32. This guy is named 32 Kashia. Both of these sound a little bit effeminate, and I pictured an older man. We'll just call him Mel. His name is Mel. Okay. So he stops his ritual, and he says, please share my fire with me. And he has a little campfire burning there in the side of the cave. And Dog is very wary at this time, because this is a dark mystic. What is he up to? What's his nefarious purposes that he's involved in? And so Dog goes and sits at the fire with this mystic. He's a little bit of an older man, and he kind of is a little slow in getting up, and he kind of hobbles on over to the flames and sits down across the fire from Dog. And he says, "Let me guess, you're on your way to the trial of the light." And Dog says, well, yes, how did you know? And Mel says, "This is a common waypoint for those who are on that journey. I often come up against Children of the Light initiates, and usually the encounter goes something like what happened between us. But I must tell you, I'm a little surprised by you, Dog." And Dog says, why? And Mel says, "I had a vision about you, and I know that you are an alchemist. I can feel the power of alchemy influencing you as we speak, in your movements, in the way you speak. I can tell you're under the influence of an alchemical potion. I, too, am well versed in alchemy. And I'm very surprised because I know that that is against the tenets of the Lord of the Light." And Dog says, "Well, now that you mention it, yes, I am an herbalist and an alchemist, as were my grandparents. And I have had some negative run-ins with the children due to that. They were both branded as traitors. And I'm hoping to gain a position of power within the children so that I can change things from within. I have no hope of casting ourselves away from the children's influence, and so the only recourse is for me to change the way things are." And Mel sits there for a moment thinking, and he says, "I've long pondered the Lord of the Light versus the Lord of the Dark. I, of course, worship the Lord of the Dark, but I'm not evil. You practice alchemy. Are you evil?" And Dog shakes his head no. He says, "Indeed, not all who worship the Lord of the Dark are evil. Darkness is not inherently evil. Nighttime is a time when the sun is down. It's not evil in and of itself. It just is. Shadows and the shade of a tree are not evil, even though light is not there. It just is. Yes, things that are evil prefer the dark because they gain power from the darkness. But darkness itself, the Lord of Darkness himself, is not evil. He will give power to those who are evil, just like the Lord of the Light gives power to children who are evil. Do you understand what I'm saying?" And Dog thinks for a moment, and he realizes he is just as guilty of making assumptions about these dark mystics as the children are about alchemy, assuming they're all evil. And he shakes his head, it's kind of sadly, knowing that he has fallen in the same logic trap that the children of the light have for millennia, maybe not millennia, hundreds of years. And Mel shakes his head when he sees that light of understanding in Dog's eyes, and he says, "Good, good. You have made a huge step in your growth today, Dog. I wish you all the best in your trials of the light, but be aware that as you journey into the trials, there are those that will wish to stop you. There are those that have taken the trials before you and failed. They have become zealots, either for the Lord of the Light or for the Lord of the Dark. Both. Both are not good. Both will cause you harm if you let them. I wish you well in your search, in your journey. I wish you well as you look for answers. But know this, dog. Don't forget and lose yourself. Always keep yourself in check. And dog kind of shakes his head. He's like, yes, yeah, I understand. Thank you so much for giving me this insight. And Mel says, please share my fire with me, and we will pass the night here together in the cave, share stories, and perhaps I can maybe even impart some alchemical wisdom to you. And then in the morning, you can finish your journey to the hinterlands and begin your trial of the light. And Dog agrees that that probably is a good idea. And so we are going to make a camp. And I don't think I'm going to forge a bond with this guy, but we will go ahead and take our camping action here. And since he is friendly, I think I will add a +1 here. And let's see what we can do here. If I get a strong hit, my supply is 3, which is not great. Let's roll it. Okay, good. I got a 10. Wow, that's a surprise. I got a 6 on my roll +4. That's a 10 over a 9 and a 2. That's a strong hit. You and your allies may each choose 2. Okay, so I'm going to recuperate first of all. Take +1 health, so that puts me up to 3 health. And then I could partake and remove 1 supply and take +1 health. Or I could take 1 spirit or 1 momentum. Or I could prepare, and when I break camp, add +1 as I undertake a journey. But I think I'll take the +1 spirit for that. Yes, I think I will do that. Okay, that's great. And we got a new friend. Yeah, let's create a bond for this male guy. Maybe we'll find him again in the future. I think it will be difficult to make a bond with him because he is so far away from us. So I'm going to make it a dangerous bond. That doesn't pertain to how dangerous they are. It just has how difficult is it going to be to make a bond with this person. Forge a bond with Mel. Okay, and we'll go ahead and mark 1 progress on that. So we have a very rudimentary bond with them. So that's good. All right, fantastic. So let's go to our alchemy. Well, let's go take a look at our assets. He said he could give us an upgrade for our alchemy. So we're going to advance alchemist here to this last thing. And when we prepare an elixir, add +1, and we also take +1 momentum on a hit. So that's great. I'm going to go ahead and add that. That will use up 2 more of our XP. We now still have 2 that maybe we could use for our herbalist. What's the last thing for herbalist? When we make camp and choose to partake, you can create a restorative meal, and if you do, you and your companions take +1 health, but we do not suffer the minus supply. Oh, that would have been useful. Does he know about herbalism as well? I think he does. And I think he teaches us about that. I'm going to go ahead and use my last 2 for that as well. So now I have fully upgraded all 3 of my assets, which means my next advancement I'll need to do is I will need to get 3 experience points before I can gain a new asset. So that will be what we do next. All right, great. So now all 3 of my assets have been fully upgraded, which is fantastic. Okay, so we bid Mel farewell and thank him for all of his wisdom and guidance that he has provided to us. That was a very fruitful part of our journey. So now we are going to undertake the last part of our journey, which will be to the entrance to the Trials of the Light. Okay, and so I think one of my long arm asset abilities is when we undertake a journey and you score a strong hit, we get a +1. Okay, so it doesn't give me a bonus on the actual roll, just on the +1. All right, so we're going to undertake a journey using wits, and we're going to roll. Of course, a miss. And it's a bad miss too. 6 versus a 10 and 8 mean I can't even use my momentum. You are waylaid by a perilous event. Pay the price. Trouble Oracle. Okay, so what perilous event could it be? Let's look at the pay the price table as opposed to just rolling. Let's see what we got. All right, so we got 3 different pay the price tables. Let's just roll one and see what we get here. I'm gonna roll first a d6. That's a 3 and a 26. 3 and a 26. So it'll be on this table. 26. An unexpected guardian impedes your progress. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we journey through the foothills of the hinterlands, and as we travel down this trail, a warrior steps from behind the trees and says, "Halt." And so naturally we do. And he says, "What is your business in the hinterlands?" And we tell him that we are on our way to perform the Trials of the Light ritual. And let's see what this character... What is he? He's a guide. Oh, okay. So he's a guide. And what is his disposition towards us? He's demanding. Okay. I know I could have used the other oracles, but I'm just going to do this one. Find a person is his goal. He wants to find a person who is doing the trials, of course. Okay. Mimicking strong. Okay, so mimicking strong. So he too is an older gentleman, and he once was a very fit warrior, but now he's in his the third act of his life, and his strength isn't what it used to be. And what is this guy's name? His name is it's a woman, Leela. It's a female warrior. Okay, so Leela says, "Those who would partake in the trials must first best me in combat." And Dog feels uncomfortable due to her age, doing so, but he says, "Okay, I will do what is required. Let's draw the circle." Okay, we're going to have a formal duel. So when we challenge someone to a formal duel or accept a challenge, roll heart. Okay, then you make your moves to resolve the fight. All right. So it's a fight, but it's not a fight to the death or anything like that. We have to basically prove ourselves to Leela, and she will guide us to the entrance of the Trial of the Light. Okay, so we're going to roll heart, and unfortunately it's a really low stat for me. I'm going to roll... Oh my god! I rolled a 6, so that's an 8 plus a 6 over a 6 and a 6. That's a strong with a positive twist. Take +1 momentum. You may also choose up to 3 boasts and take +1 momentum for each. Wow. You may choose up to 3 boasts. Okay. So I can grant the first strike and my foe has the initiative. I can... Wish I could get that off of that thing here. Let's take 1 momentum. How can I get that off of there? I can't read this. Something yourself. Take no benefit of armor or shield. Your foe's harm is +1. Oh, okay. Hold no, bury yourself is what that says. Hold no iron. Take no benefit of your weapons. My harm is 1. Bloody myself. I can endure harm. Or to the death. One way or another, this fight must end with death. I don't want any of those. But I can do up to 3 and take +1 momentum for each. And we have to figure out what the strong twist is. Okay. I don't think I'm going to do any of these things. I don't think that... that's the way dog works. So he's not a big boaster. This is a warrior, so they're ranked dangerous. I think the positive twist will be that she's actually a rank troublesome because she is past her prime. And so this should be a relatively easy fight. So I think maybe I will grant her the first strike. My foe has initiative. I will be on the defensive. And so I say, bring me the combat, and I will prove myself to you. And she draws her broadsword from its sheath and does a salute with it, and then steps forward to begin the combat. And since I am on the defensive, I think the first thing I want to do is, well, I think I need to enter the fray regardless, right? No, drawing the circle is the same as entering the fray for the purposes of starting the fight. So we need to... I can face danger first to try to react to her attack. And if I get a strong hit, then I will gain the initiative. Or I can just go ahead and go into clash and use my long arm ability to use edge instead of iron. So I think I will just go ahead and begin the battle. And we do need to mark a new track for her to be a foe here. So we need a foe. She's troublesome because she is in her elder years. Defeat Leela in duel. Alright, so Leela is an aged warrior who is the guardian of the trials of the light. Okay, so I have to... my first thing is to defeat her in honorable combat. Okay, so the first thing, she's moving forward with her sword raised up over her head, and she's going to do like an overhand strike. I'm going to use my long arm ability with my staff, so I can strike or clash with edge, and I add +1, and I take 1 momentum on a hit. So I get to add +1 to my clash here, and I'm going to roll. And we rolled an 11, which I think you're not supposed to have over a 10, so we'll just call it a 10. 10 versus 7 and a 6, that's a strong hit. I get a +1 momentum from my long arm, and I can either take another momentum or I can cause harm. So she moves forward with her hands upraised, and she comes in to strike, and I very nimbly sidestep her blow and strike her securely in the midriff with my staff. And she lets out a woof as we hit her in the stomach. Despite her armor, it causes her some harm there. All right, so we add progress there, and well, 1 harm is... hold on a second. 1 harm is 3 ticks, right? I get so confused with the combat at times. With troublesome, 1 harm is 3 ticks. When we do 2 harm, so that's 2 here, 2 progress, which will be 6 ticks. Okay, that's fine. That's right. Okay, I got confused there for a moment. Okay, so yeah, that's 2 progress. That's 2 harm. So that's 6 progress on our track. So she lets out a woof, and she kind of stumbles, And now that we have the initiative, we're going to strike. And we are going to continue to use +1. And I spin the staff and I try to sweep her legs out from underneath her. And I get a 12 versus a 9 and a 2. Once again, I'm going to cap it at 10 versus a 9 and a 2. I inflict 1 harm and retain initiative. And I gain a momentum from my long arm ability. And I gain 2 more harm, which would put that up to 4. And she stumbles to the ground. And I hold the staff up over her chest and I say, admit defeat. And we are going to end the fight here. A very easy fight. Maybe a little too easy. Defeat Leela in a duel. Okay, so I'm going to roll my progress there, and I'm not going to use a +1 for this part. I get a 10 versus a 1 and a 10, which is a weak hit. The foe is no longer in the fight. They're killed out of action, flee, or surrender. We're going to say that she surrenders. And then choose one. You're overcome, endure stress. Your victory short-lived. A new danger or foe appears, or an existing danger suffers. You suffer collateral damage, something that is lost or broken. You'll pay for it. An objective falls out of reach, or others won't forget. You're marked for vengeance. Oh. Well, I feel like none of that makes a lot of sense because it was so easily won by us. And so I think probably we'll say others won't forget. I'm marked for vengeance. Leela is very upset that I defeated her so easily. And while she's laying there on the ground, she says something about me being a young pup, and she holds onto an iron medallion, and she swears a vow to get vengeance against me. And I'm very confused. Dog is very confused because he thought it was just an honorable fight, and it is what it is. But obviously, she does not feel that way. That she thinks that I have deceived her in some way or something, and so she is very unhappy and swears vengeance against me. And so I try to help her to her feet, but she knocks away my hand and climbs wearily to her feet. And she says, "Proceed then, dog, on your way to oblivion." And then she just walks off into the woods, just like that. And so that will bring my journey to the hinterlands to completion. And I'm going to reach my destination now with that. So let's go to reach my destination with my journey to the hinterlands. We're going to roll against our progress there. It is a strong hit. The situation of your destination favors you. Choose one. Make another move now and add +1, or take +1 momentum, and I'm going to add that momentum to my journey. And we will mark this as complete. Okay, so we stand here on the precipice of the entrance to the Trials of the Light. And how this is going to work is we are in the hinterlands here. We're near the foothills of these mountains, and there's a trail that runs up into those mountains. And so we need to go here, and I'm going to mark this as a 3. This is the Trials of the Light. And we're going to do a delve for that. So I'm going to create a track first. And this will be a delve track. And this is also going to be a formidable delve. It's going to be relatively tough for us. And so we are going to do that. And I know you're not really supposed to do a vow and other progress track in conjunction with one another, but I'm not sure how else to do that. So as we make progress in our delve, we will mark progress in our vow. That's just how I'm going to do it. And matter of fact, I'm going to mark one progress here because we defeated the Guardian, and we are now ready to begin our trial of the light. Okay, so we have a delve now that we can choose. And the risk is low, it says. Why is the risk low? It should be medium because it's formidable. Dangerous or formidable. Oh, maybe it's because of the encounters that we have here. Okay, they're largely zealots and bone walkers. So my objective is to perform the trials of the light. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass up this pass into the hallowed pass here. So we have the faithful worship here, and the faithful will be both the followers, the zealots of the dark and zealots of the light. They're both hostile towards me and each other. And so that might be an interesting thing that we get here. We might have to increase the risk just a little because we got so many troublesome encounters. I kind of was, well, we'll just leave it as is. It's fine. It's fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to delve. And so we are going to refresh this. We have a delve now. And we are going to begin our delve. So we're going to go to the delve moves. We need to delve the depths first. So we're going to delve the depths. When we explore a perilous site and search for your objective, roll on the theme domain feature tables and envision your surroundings for each area. Okay. So we are going to get our delve here, and we are going to roll. We want to roll with our edge. We're going to move with haste up the there. Well, we probably should move with wits, with observation, intuition, or expertise. Okay. I think that's what I did anyway. So that would be a 5 versus a 1 and a 9, which is a weak hit. I could burn my momentum, but I think I'm not going to. So the result is weak. Roll on the dial of the depths table. Roll result is a 61. Choose one. Mark progress or find an opportunity. Okay. So I delved the depths and I moved up the trail. Well, let's see what we find up the trail. It says we rolled a 61. So let's look and see what we found. In the delve location. I don't know how this works here. Let's see. Here we are. Site type is a pass. Okay. Yes, a pass. Heights. So I come up to these heights. The trail begins to wind up the mountain, and we are on this very narrow ledge that we are having to walk with our back pressed against the side of the mountain as we progress up there, and we move with caution, and we can either mark progress or find an opportunity. I think I will mark progress in our delve, which will be here. And this is part of the trial as well, so I'm going to mark it as well. And we are going to move forward with our delve. All right, so I'm going to delve the depths again. Once again, using wits. Miss. Got a 6 versus an 8 and a 6. Okay, if I burn my momentum now, it will be a strong hit. Otherwise, I have to reveal a danger. Do I really want to burn my momentum already? I think I'm just going to reveal the danger. I'm not going to burn it just yet. I'm going to reveal a danger. So let's go to our delve and reveal the dangers here. So let's just take and see what we got. We got an 86. So 86, reveal a danger. 86. Okay, reveal a danger. 86. A resource is diminished, broken, or lost. Oh. Okay. A resource is diminished, broken, or lost. Okay, so I'm going to say one of my potions runs out. Okay, so normally it runs out when you get below a +1 on your spirit, health, or momentum. But I'm going to say instead one of my potions runs out prematurely. And so currently I have 2 potions active. I have my Wits potion and my Edge potion, and I think my Edge is going to be the one that runs out. So I feel my speed and everything go back to normal, and since it had been inflated for some time, I feel slightly deflated and a little bit slow and sluggish compared to where I had been just shortly before, and now I must proceed without the benefits of my potion. Okay, and I don't get to mark progress. Okay, so we're going to continue with our wits, and we're going to roll again. We get a 10 versus a double 1. That's a strong with a positive twist. You delve deeper, mark progress, and find an opportunity. So I'm going to mark progress here, and let's see what opportunity we get in my Trials of the Light. And let's see here, the delve. We'll roll what was a double 1. So what did we get on the delve? A religious relic or idol. Oh. So I come upon a small alcove cut into the side of the mountain. And inset in this alcove is like a sunburst motif that is for the worship of the Lord of the Light. And let's see what we get for a positive twist. Find an opportunity. When you encounter a helpful situation or feature within a site, roll on the delve, find an opportunity. Oracle, if you're making this move as a result of a strong hit on Delve the Depths, you may pick or envision an opportunity instead of rolling. Then, choose one. Gain insight or prepare. Take 1 momentum. Take action now. You and any allies may move, which directly leverages the opportunity. When you do, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. Well, my momentum is already at 10, so maybe I'll add +1 to something here. Oh, since it's a positive twist, I'm going to say I can resupply here, which is usually not something you can do during delves, or it's difficult to do. But we'll say that people give offerings. They make pilgrimages to this little shrine, and they leave offerings for initiates to be able to use. And so I'm going to go ahead and make a resupply move here, and I'm going to add +1 to that from my strong hit there. And we're going to see if we can get a strong hit. Yes, we did. 11 again versus a 3 and a 6. That's a strong hit. Bolster your resources. Take 2 supply. That puts me back up to 5. Fantastic. I would normally take a momentum from that too, but I can't because I am already full. But that puts, I gather some of the needed supplies that I have been running short on, and I add them to my pack. But I'm careful not to take too much because I want to leave some for others as well. And now we are ready to drive further into our delve and delve the depths once again without the +1. All right. So where are we going? We rolled a 10 versus a 7 and 8. Another strong hit. Mark progress and find an opportunity. So I'm going to mark progress first. And where does that take me? I got a 78. So in the delve here, a 78 is a bridge. Okay. So I come across this little rope bridge that crosses a small ravine in the cliffside here. And we're going to try to find an opportunity here. Oh, I didn't roll on the find an opportunity table last time. Okay, I think I just took something that's was here it is. Find an opportunity. This area provides an opportunity to scavenge, forage, or hunt. So interesting. We'll say that was for the last one, since that's what I said happened. So we'll say another one. We locate a secure area. Okay, well, I guess that's okay. So within this secure area here, we once again at the edge of this rope bridge going across, we can gain insight to take 1 momentum, or we can add +1 and take 1 momentum on a hit on our next move. So my next move is going to be a heal move, and we're going to try to heal ourselves with some of the supplies that we have around. And so let's take a look at my herbalist skill. Here, we're going to attempt to heal using herbal remedies and have at least +1 supply. Choose 1, add +2, or on a hit, take an additional +1 health. Okay, I think I'll do that. On a hit, I'm going to take an additional health because I'm already getting a +1 from our find an opportunity. So I'm going to add a +1 on my heal. And I'm also going to get 4 from our wits. And I get a +2 to my health if we get a hit. Okay. Doesn't matter if it's a strong hit or a weak hit. We get to roll for that. Wits or iron, whichever is lower. Oh. That stinks. I have to do iron, of course. Darn it. Okay. That's fine. We still got a 10. So we are rolling 6s like crazy versus a 7 and 8. That's a strong hit. My care is careful, and we have healed our wounds +2, which that's kind of wasted my herbalism skill because now we're all the way full up to +5. But I didn't need the momentum either, so it's all good. Okay, so now I can continue with the delve. We're going to cross this bridge and delve the depths further. All right, and we are going to continue to use our wits, and no bonus on that. We rolled a 7 versus a 6 and a 10. That is a weak hit. Rolling on the delve the depths table, roll an 88. Take both mark progress and find an opportunity. Really? All right. 88. A camp or outpost. Oh. So we come across this little camp. And what kind of camp is it? We need to find an opportunity, it says. Why don't we get to mark both progress and an opportunity on a weak hit? You'd think it would be one or the other. I kind of feel weird taking both. I think I'll just not take that find an opportunity. So we come across a camp that is set up on one of these cliffs, and we kind of watch it from afar, and we see some men walking around inside the camp, but we don't know if they are hostile or not. I think I'm going to watch them for just a moment. And do they see me is the question. So do they see me? I'm going to say 50-50 chance. Yes, they do see me. Okay. And what is their disposition towards me? They are cooperative. Okay. Well, wow, this is turning out really well. So one of them sees me kind of peeking around the corner, and he says, "Welcome, welcome. Are you an initiate of the Trial of the Light?" And I indicate that I am. And he says, "Come share our hearth." And they bring me to their camp, and they offer to share some of their supplies, but I don't really need them. And so I, kind of turn it down, but we're going to go ahead and make camp here, and we'll spend the night here, and maybe we can get our spirit up a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and do a supply roll, and we got an 11 versus a 4 and a 3. It's a strong hit. We may choose 2, so I can take 1 spirit, which I will do, And then when I break camp, I can add +1 if you undertake a journey. I will use that as delve the depths as well. So I think that will be just fine. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and delve the depths one more time here. And let's see what we get. No pluses on it. We're just going to delve the depths with wits. Morning comes. We are refreshed. And they all wish me well on the journey. And I continue up the hill into the mountainous areas. And I rolled a 9 versus a 1 and a 7. I delve deeper, mark progress, and find an opportunity. What is 17? What do I see here? 17. Dwellings or gathering place. Okay. So we do see some additional gathering places as we move further up the mountain. And let's find an opportunity and see what is at this gathering place here. Delve. Find an opportunity. That's another secure area. Okay. I don't really need to make camp again. And so there's no one here in this gathering place. There are some supplies here, but I'm not going to take any of it. I'm just going to continue on my way further up the path. Did I already add my progress? I don't think so. I need to be better about tracking that. Okay. And now we are going to delve the depths once again with wits. We rolled an 8 versus a 10 and a 2. That is a weak hit, mark progress, and reveal a danger. See, that's what I would have thought last time. I think there was a typo on there. Okay, so that's a weak hit, but we do get to mark progress again as we delve deeper into the area. Okay. I'm not going to mark progress on the weak hit for my vow. I'm just going to continue up there. Okay. And mark progress, reveal a danger. Where are we at on the delve? At 22. We are at a winding mountain path. Reveal a danger. What did I roll? An 02. 02. Denizen defends their sanctum. Okay. And let's roll to see what denizen. I could do an 02 and it's just a person, but let's see what else we got out of here. Let's just do a manual roll. Roll a D100. An 11. That's not going to be too bad. That's just a zealot. So as we come around the winding mountain path, we see a zealot standing guard over a small alcove. Maybe it's an entrance to a cave, who knows? But they apparently are standing guard there. And they are troublesome, I believe. Aren't they? Zealots? Let's see what it says. They are troublesome, yes. 3 progress per harm. They inflict 1 harm. They serve the faith, bring others into the fold, destroy those who oppose them. They have a sickly pallor, distant eyes. They have marks of their faith. Are they 50-50? They Lord of the Light? No. These are Lord of the Darkness zealots. They entice with trickery or false promises, use the powers of their faith, and stand together to overcome non-believers. Okay. So you can read here what the zealots are. They have single-minded devotion, and it changes them sometimes irrevocably. Okay. So this is a Lord of the Dark zealot, and I'm going to enter the fray here against this fellow. And we're going to use Shadow because I'm going to try to sneak up on him and into the fray against him. Let's see. Do I get any bonuses from Long Arm for my enter the fray? No, I do not. Okay. But I do for security advantage, which we will do next, depending on how this enter the fray goes. Poorly. A miss. Combat begins with you at a disadvantage. Pay the price. Your foe has initiative. Or I can burn momentum. Get rid of that. 4 at least. Yeah, and get a weak hit. I think I'm going to. I'm going to burn that momentum. That will put me back up to a +4 on my momentum because I get to choose one. And I'm going to let him take the initiative. So he has initiative. I'm defensive. And I tried to sneak up and get the jump on him, but he sees me straight away and he pulls his long bladed knife and rushes towards me and says, "For the dark!" And he rushes towards me and tries to slash at me with his knife. And I'm going to use Edge, which is my long arm ability, to try to deflect his blows. And I'm going to roll a 5 versus a 1 and a 10. That's a weak hit. I get to inflict my harm and choose one. You have the initiative. Why would I have the initiative? Oh, because I accidentally burned momentum. There we go. Inflict your harm, but pay the price. Your foe still has initiative. Okay. So we need to add a track for this zealot. Ugh. Stupid zealots. Just mind your own business. Mind your own business. So I inflicted harm. 2 harm, matter of fact. He's easy. And now we have to pay the price. We'll say that as he is slashing towards me, he does a slight wound. He gives me a slight gash in my arm as I try to dodge aside, and gives me a -1 health because that's how much harm he does. I could go ahead and suffer and endure the harm and try to shake it off, but it could get worse. And so I think I'll accept that -1 and continue with the fight. Unfortunately, he still has the advantage. Okay, so he is going to continue to press the attack. I struck him, he struck me, we traded blows, and so far no one has gotten the better of the other. He's going to press his attack, and he is going to try to push forward and attack me with his knife, and I'm going to try to use Edge to defend myself. And we rolled a 6 versus a 3 and a 4. That's a strong hit. Inflict your harm and choose one. You have the initiative. I'm back in control. I can take 1 momentum or inflict 1 harm. I think I will take the momentum this time. And we're going to go for a strike. So he comes forward. He tries to attack me, and I parry it deftly with my long arm quarterstaff. And then I spin it and quickly strike back at him, gaining... Oh, I should have gotten a +1 momentum from my clash anyway, from my long arm. And I should be getting a +1. So many things I'm forgetting here. Okay, so now I'm going to strike with my long arm, get a +1. And I only get 1 harm because I'm using it as long arm. Sorry, I did that wrong too. I'm going to knock this back down to 1. Okay, I did that wrong with Leela as well. Oops. Okay, so that's fine. We are going to roll an attack. Yes, with a negative twist. My attack fails and I must pay the price. The enemy has initiative. No. So I am feeling very cocky against this zealot, and I move to strike him with my staff, but he steps within the blow up close, and he places his hand on my chest and he shouts some word, and pain unlike any I have known courses through my body and does -2 health, and he now has the initiative, and I am going to try to endure that harm that he has done upon me. He calls upon the Lord of Darkness and uses it to sap my life force. And so I'm going to endure harm. And we're going to roll health or iron, whichever is higher. My iron is 3. My health is 2. So I'm going to roll iron. Okay. And I'm going to roll that. And we got a 5 versus a 3 and a 2. That's a strong hit. Choose one. Shake it off. Suffer 1 momentum in exchange for 1 health, or embrace the pain, take 1 momentum. I think I will take that momentum. Okay, but we are still on the defensive, and he sees me stagger from that pain that he caused me, and he's going to press the attack and try to finish me with his weapon. I'm going to use my long arm to try to counter it the best that I can. And I roll a weak hit. I inflict your harm, but then pay the price. Your foe still has initiative. I gain 1 momentum from the clash ability on a hit, right? Doesn't have to be a strong hit. Take 1 momentum on a hit, yes. Okay. So I do get to inflict harm as well, but he also inflicts harm to me. Okay. So what harm is he going to do? I think it just makes sense to do damage, but I could just pay the price and see what he gets. It's harmful, yep. So he's troublesome, so he does 1 harm. I could go ahead and try to endure that harm, because I'm getting awfully low in health. Dare I? It could put me potentially at a 0 if I don't. Okay, I'm not going to. Alright, so he strikes out once again, and I definitely use my staff to counter strike, but at the same time, his knife slices into my hand as I try to parry and causes me additional harm. And now he's pressing the attack even further. I continue to add +1, and let's see if we can do some damage and get a strong hit here. Edge. I rolled a 8 versus a 6 and a 3. A strong hit finally. Inflict your harm and choose 1. You have the initiative. I find an opening, inflict 1 harm. I think that's what I will do because I want to finish this guy if possible. Alright, I could go ahead and try to finish this combat. See if I can finish him with the... I think I will. I'm going to end the fight. I'm going to try to do a finishing move now that I have the initiative. And if I strong hit, I resolve the outcome. Okay. Zealot on the path. I don't get to add +1 on finishing the fight. Let's roll. A 9 versus a 5 and a 1. That's a strong hit. I spin my staff deftly and strike him in the side of the head, and he stumbles and then falls off the edge of the path down to his doom, bouncing off of the cliff face several times before he hits the path below us, many feet below. Okay, so we have defeated the zealot on the path. We will mark it complete, and I don't get to mark anything on my bow. That's fine. We are in a bad way. I'm going to go ahead and take a look where he was guarding here, and I'm going to try to take shelter there and do a little bit of a heal on myself here. So iron or wits, whichever is lower, that's going to be iron. And I'm going to try to heal myself, and let's take a look at my herbalist ability. Decide before rolling. I can add +2 or on a hit take an additional health. I think I'm going to add the +2 so that I make sure I get a good result here. So I'm going to roll. Whew, good thing I did. I got a 6 versus a 7 and a 5. That's a weak hit. I get to add +2 to my health, but I must suffer -1 supply or -1 momentum. I think I'll take the -1 supply. I'm going to need that momentum. I add 2 health, right? Strong hit, take 2 health. Okay, yeah, good. Oh no, weak hit. What's the weak hit? Yeah, as above. Okay, yeah. So I still get +2 health, but it costs me 1 supply. Okay, so I have to use some of the bandages and things that I've been gathering, but luckily I can renew my vigor and health back up to +3. Okay, we are getting closer to the hallowed grounds of the Lord of the Light. But we must press on. Now, I could go ahead and try to make another potion and get my heart up, or shadow up, or iron up, for that matter. I think I'm going to continue up with wits and knock that back down. Okay, we're going to roll. And we rolled a 5 versus a 4 and a 4. Strong with a positive twist. We delve deeper, mark progress, and find an opportunity. Fantastic. So I'm going to delve deeper. And we are delving. And what is going to be the twist that we find? Well, let's see what the opportunity is first. The terrain favors you, or you find a hidden path. Oh, interesting. Okay, and what is this place? 44? 44. A snowfield or glacial rocks. So we're coming up now to the point where we are high enough that we're starting to come into snowfall in this area. And I'm going to say that we do find a hidden path that will take us directly to the summit. And I'm going to add an additional progress into my delve. Oops, put that up to an 8. Okay, so we're that much closer to at the summit of our delve here. And I'm going to go ahead and delve one more time with wits. A 5 versus a 3 and a 10. It's a weak hit. Roll result 71. Mark progress or find an opportunity. Okay, I think I will mark progress. What are we on the delve? 71. A highland lake. So we come around the bend of this hidden path and it leads to a little lake there. And the lake is not quite frozen, but it is quite icy. We dip down and wash our face and refresh ourselves the best that we can and make progress on our delve. We are almost to the summit where the Lord of the Light trial will finally begin. Okay, and I think I will go ahead and say that we locate our objective. We could try to. Did we? Let's see if we do. A 9 versus a 2 and a 10, that's a weak hit. You locate your objective, but face an unforeseen hazard or a complication. Envision what you find. So I come through the trail that leads by this lake, and as I pass around the edge of this cliff face, I see a large shrine before me with a metal pillar there, of course. But unfortunately, something is guarding this metal pillar. And what is it? What do we find here guarding the pillar? Let's roll the D. A 92. Uh-oh. That's high. What is that? 92. A bear. Oh no! There's a bear! A bear has taken up living at the... Oh no. Oh my gosh. He has taken up residence at this iron pillar. And now we must face the bear in order to finish our vow with the Lord of the Light. So our delve is complete. We are now required to face a foe who is, what is a bear? You might say a bear is, I think, a formidable foe. Yes, a formidable foe. 1 progress per harm, and he inflicts 3 harm. Oh my gosh. Most bears are not aggressive. They avoid Ironlanders and are unlikely to attack unless they see me as a threat, which he does because he thinks I am here in his habitat, encroaching on his newfound home. And I've only got 3 health, so this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. This is a formidable foe, and it is in progress. Perhaps he has been sent here by the Lord of the Light to be the final part of this trial. Is this going to be a successful trial for Dog, or has he finally reached his limit? Find out next time on Ironsworn, the Playing God Apothecary. We will try to defeat the bear, and in doing so, do the trial of the light. Finalize the trial of the light, I should say. I think I might have had a miss during that episode and forgot to learn from my foes, but that's fine. I just won't do anything there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure and hit that like button. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.